Coming up on today's show, BMW drops the iREX from some markets as the higher capacity i3 BEV launches for the 2019 model year. Elon Musk settles with the SEC over those infamous tweets, then trolls the same. And Cadillac's Super Cruise beats Tesla's autopilot in Consumer Reports tests. These stories and more coming next. Hi there, folks. Welcome to another weekend roundup in the world of cleaner, greener, safer and smarter transportation. This week has been a little crazy on many different levels and in many different spheres. So let's get started with one of the more sane stories of the week. As I noted in last week's show, BMW has just announced a larger battery pack for the i3 and i3S electric cars, pushing their ranges in excess of 150 miles, 240 kilometers per charge. This week, it released more information on the same, publishing a really extensive technical specification on its media site that not only rates the capacity of 42.2 kilowatt hours, but also uses the usable capacity, 37.9 kilowatt hours. It also quietly announced that it's ceasing production of the i3 REX altogether for European customers. People in North America and Japan will still be offered a REX variant, but it'll be interesting to see which model customers choose with this new, larger pack option available. Tesla released provisional Q3 production and delivery figures this week, showing that it had managed to produce approximately 80,000 cars and deliver more than 83,500 ones. Of those cars delivered, nearly 56,000 were Model 3s. This is great news for Tesla and could mean that the quarterly earnings call shows a small profit. But Tesla has been hit pretty hard in recent months because of the ongoing trade war between the US and China and the 40% tariff being placed on US cars imported into the country. We'll find out the full financials in early November. A date hasn't been published, but I'm predicting November 7th. The SEC announced on Saturday last week that it had reached an out-of-court settlement with Elon Musk and Tesla over the now infamous 420 privatization tweets sent by Musk back in August. Alongside news of the deal, however, there were some allegations made that Elon had initially refused to do a deal with the SEC, threatening to resign before then finally agreeing to the terms, which included both Musk and Tesla paying $20 million in fines and Musk stepping down as chairman of the board. US District Judge Alison Nathan has said that she wants to see a joint letter from all parties involved stating why she should approve the deal before she makes it official. The situation is probably not helped either by Elon's open trolling of the SEC on Twitter yesterday, calling it the Short Seller Enrichment Commission. Oh, Elon. Audi has been pushing its e-tron SUV pretty hard for the past few weeks and has reportedly already got 10,000 pre-reservations secured ahead of the start of the car's production rollout this fall. This week, it confirmed we'll soon see more plug-in models too, including the e-tron Sportback SUV Coupe next year and a preview of a four-door e-tron GT, due to launch in 2020, coming this November at the LA Auto Show. A total of 10 plug-in hybrid models, in addition to these electric ones, are being planned over the next 6 years. One of the things that people often cite as an advantage of owning an electric or hybrid car is that it's impossible to stall them. But this week, Toyota has issued a massive global recall of 2.4 million hybrids made between 2008 and 2014 to rectify a problem that could cause affected cars to stall. It's all to do with the so-called limp mode that is triggered when the car detects a problem with some of its systems. It's designed to get you off the road and to safety, albeit at a slow speed, but in affected cars it can cause a total loss of power. Recalls will be carried out under warranty. As I've already explained in the show, Tesla released some great quarterly production and delivery figures this week, but it's also released its first ever quarterly vehicle safety report. It states that over the past quarter, it's registered one accident or crash-like event for every 3.34 million miles driven with autopilot engaged, and one accident or crash-like event for every 1.92 million miles driven without autopilot engaged. It actually proves that active safety systems and driver assistance systems like autopilot can help keep us safe on the road when we use them appropriately. It was the Paris Auto Show this week, and alongside various never-come-to-production concepts and stupidly expensive limited production vehicles, we saw some interesting plug-in cars announced. Among them, the Renault KZE, an A-segment global EV with modest range and battery specs and So we're told a suitably affordable sticker price. Production will start next year in China for the Chinese market, but Renault says the KZE will eventually be sold around the world. Many people will tell you that Tesla's autopilot system is the best autonomous or semi-autonomous driving system out there, but this week Consumer Reports placed Tesla's automated driving systems behind that of General Motors, ranking the Super Cruise system first. It placed autopilot in second place, with Nissan's ProPilot Assist and Volvo's Pro Assist placing third and fourth respectively. Each system uses different technology and operates in different ways, but Consumer Reports noted that all of the systems have flaws and present new safety risks that we all need to address in order to safely use these features on a daily basis. The California Air Resources Board has now taken affirmative action against the proposed rollback or further freezing of federal fuel economy standards by the Trump administration. It has affirmed the deemed to comply provision of California's greenhouse gas vehicle regulation, a move which should ensure 12 million metric tons of CO2 is kept out of the air in California when compared with the proposed freezing. Under the action, the other 12 states which follow California's lead will also essentially comply with the previous administration's tougher goals. Expect the White House to challenge this all in court. And now it's time for short shorts. I know that you're all loving these, so let's blast through some headlines we can't cover in depth, but which you can read up on by following the links in the show notes below. Honda has issued 2 separate recalls involving certain modern years of Insight hybrid and Honda Fit EV vehicles over airbag inflation and, in the case of the Insight, rear-view camera display failures. Both recalls are linked in the show notes, so check them out if these recalls affect you. Automobili Pininfarina has announced a deal this week with Rimac that will see the latter build and supply powertrains to the former for use in its first all-electric hypercar, the PFO. Specs are not cemented yet, but were promised both crazy acceleration and top speed. Electrify America, despite not getting back to us about the teething problems it's been having with its network, has announced details of its second round of electric vehicle charging infrastructure investment in the state of California. A total of $200 million will be spent. Japanese firm Spark has announced it's now taking pre-orders for its super crazy Owl hypercar. Only 50 examples will be built with a sticker price of $3.6 million US. If you want one, you'll need to put down a $1.15 million non-refundable deposit. Bluebird, one of the few companies out there making iconic yellow school buses, has delivered its first 8 all-electric school buses to customers located in California and Ontario. Kids who ride them to school can look forward to a quieter, less smelly ride over diesel. Kia has officially launched the Niro in Europe, as well as announced a new ad campaign for the same involving Robert De Niro. Range is quoted in Europe as being 485 kilometers, that's 300 miles on the WLTP test cycle. Sales will soon start in Europe. Despite its ongoing merger with BMW's car-sharing service, Daimler's Car2Go has announced it will be expanding its car-share service into Paris next year, with a fleet of 400 smart EQ for twos. Paris is no stranger to electric car sharing and recently witnessed the death of the Autolibre service. Daimler, it seems, is stepping into the gap it left behind. Renewable European energy company Innogy has completed the acquisition of Recargo Inc., the company behind the PlugShare app. This not only allows Innogy to expand its US presence, but could suggest the app may be getting some investment in the near future. British firm Oxus Energy has announced it's improved the energy density of lithium-sulfur batteries to an impressive 450 watt-hours per kilo. While lithium-sulfur batteries aren't used for electric cars, they're perfect for electric planes and drones. Mazda has announced it's bringing back the rotary engine, not as a main power source for a car, but as a range extender for one of the several plug-in cars it's bringing to market in the future. Running at a constant speed rather than a variable one is the key to low emissions and high efficiency, we're told. Volvo's performance arm Polestar has announced that it's begun verification prototype production of the Polestar 1 plug-in hybrid sports coupe in Sweden. VP vehicles are part of the final stages of pre-production testing, showing Polestar is launching its vehicle very soon. Volkswagen's investment in solid-state battery firms does seem to be paying off, and it's confirmed that it plans to bring solid-state batteries to various electric vehicles from 2025 onwards, completing the transition by 2030. This could result in faster charge times and longer ranges. And those are your short shorts. As usual, let me know what you think of them in the comments below. The US National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and US Transportation Department have announced a set of sweeping changes to autonomous car legislation and investment, as well as ending the recognition of 10 proving grounds set up by the previous administration across the US to test and develop self-driving cars. NHTSA appears to be considering what it says is a more fundamental revamping that could remove some of the red tape that currently exists. Meanwhile, the US Transportation Department says there's no need anymore for special testing grounds for autonomous cars, given recent developments. Honda, in association with GM and Cruise, has announced a new partnership that will see all three companies build and test autonomous vehicles together with a view to deploying a global mobility service that makes use of those very same self-driving vehicles. Cruise, of course, is the autonomous driving startup acquired by GM a while back now, but while it's officially owned by GM, it does operate independently of the parent company. In total, Honda has committed to investing $2 billion in the endeavour over the next 12 years. Hyperloop TT, not to be confused with Hyperloop One, has unveiled what it says is the world's first full-scale passenger Hyperloop capsule. Alongside the actual design, Hyperloop TT says it's designed a brand new material for the capsule called vibranium, which no, is not the stuff from Wakanda per se, but seems to be named in honour of that fantastic stuff from the Marvel Universe. Either way, Hyperloop TT says that the capsule will be fully optimised and ready for passengers in 2019. It, like Hyperloop One, wants to be the first to make Hyperloop a reality, so it looks like the race is on. And finally, the interior of the Tesla Model 3 is certainly minimalist and rather unique in the automotive world. There's nothing in front of the driver in terms of gauges, which does give you great visibility, and instead there's that massive landscape touchscreen display in the centre of the vehicle, giving you everything you need to know. A display which in fact caused a traffic cop to pull over Model 3 owner John Hall last week. The cop, who had never seen a Model 3 before, thought the car's centre display was a laptop jury-rigged onto the car and was about to give Hall a ticket until he calmly explained what the display was all about. Sadly, I can't reproduce the video here because of costs associated with rights clearance, but I've linked to it in the show notes below. And on that note, it's the end of another show. As usual, like, comment, subscribe using the links below, hit that notification bell, and if you can, consider supporting us through Patreon. We really couldn't do this show without all of the fantastic support we get from Patreon patrons, and it's never too late to become one yourself. Plus, this month, if you sign up at patreon.com/Transport Evolved with a donation greater than $5 per month, you'll get a store-wide discount on our new Transport Evolved shop for the month of October, including our limited edition Halloween t-shirt. Give OPEC a fright and support the show too. You can buy the shirt as well without being a patron. Okay, that really is it. Thanks for joining me, and as always, don't forget to be better, smarter, and kinder. Keep evolving.